Hello, my name is Flame Schoter, and I am a Master Certified Life Coach. Today, I'd like to offer you a reflection to set the tone for 2022. Many of us have been feeling overwhelmed and scared, dealing with the uncertainty of the last couple of years. But 2022 offers us a different note. It could be filled with a sense of sanctuary and unconditional love and safety if we let it. I am a master coach and an Enneagram teacher. And as I reflected on 2022, it had a very different feeling for me. That inspired me to create this guided reflection for all of you so that you can share in the kind of focus that I've been experiencing. We'll start with this beautiful quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. My hope for you today is that you will find a place where your head, your heart, and your gut are all in alignment, and it will give you a springboard to do something really meaningful and really satisfying this year. In fact, let's start with that idea of satisfaction. Think back over the last 2 years. Yes, there were a lot of hard, uncertain, sad things happening. And yet, even in the midst of all of that, there were some good things, right? What were some of the most satisfying and fulfilling moments of 2020 and 2021 for you? Take out a sheet of paper or pull up your phone and make some little notes, some keywords of those events, so that you end up with a brief list of the most satisfying and fulfilling moments of the last couple of years. If you need more time, please feel free to pause the recording. But if you're ready, I'd like you to look at those situations that were good, even though the external circumstances were not ideal, and ask yourself, who were you being in order for those moments to occur? Write down the qualities that describe you at those times. I'd like you to end up with a list of 3 to 5 qualities. So, for example, maybe you were being compassionate or generous, open, focused, or courageous. It could be anything in the scope of being a human being, but look to see for yourself who you were being when those satisfying moments occurred. And now, where in your body do you feel it when you think about those satisfying moments and who you were being at those times? Does your heart center light up a little bit? Or maybe your gut relaxes. Maybe you feel your shoulders drop. Just notice where that lives for you and make a little note. So that's our moment of reflection on the past couple of years. Now let's shift gears and look at what area of your life really needs your attention in 2022. You know what it is. Don't overthink it. You might consider if it's your physical wellness, or perhaps your mental or emotional wellness, your finances, your relationships. Could be your creative life, or perhaps you know that it's time to do some professional development. There are no wrong answers here, but the key is to dial it in to the one area that really needs you in 2022. Now, continuing to dial it in, whichever area you just picked, if you did focus on this aspect of your life for one whole year, what would be happening in that area then that's not happening now? Use your imagination. Think about the impact it would have. Another way to ask it is, what would success look like if you focused on this? And be specific and write that down. Now you know what success looks like. How would it feel to achieve that? What would you experience when you succeed at this? Wouldn't it just feel so good? Maybe it would be like a miracle. Undoubtedly, it would really contribute to your sense of satisfaction and meaning and fulfillment in your life. Now I'd like you to go back to that list of qualities that you wrote when we were reflecting on the couple of past years. How is focusing on this area of your life that you just defined an expression of those values? And if you can think of other values or intentions that would apply to this new focus, how do they fit? This is how we discover who we really are. When we can feel the rightness, the alignment of our values and our actions, and it feels good, then we know that's who we really are, and this is what we are meant to do. You've just crafted a vision of something here. You're tuning into something really valuable. And my sense is you maybe knew that you needed to do this a while ago, yes? So that tells me that there's likely to be something that gets in the way of achieving this. And that same thing would still be true in 2022. What is it? What would get in the way? Is it something inside of you? Some fear or doubt? Is it something more in your environment? Write a list of anything that you can see that's likely to get in the way of this vision that you just tuned into. And if you have a couple of things, circle the one that seems the most important. Now, going back again to the values, those qualities that you listed earlier in the reflection, how could you apply those values to resolving this potential block? In other words, what would someone who has these values do next to address this problem? My hope for you is that a sense of creativity comes up or a possibility occurs here as you connect your values with the way you'd like your life to look. Well done. You have just identified a very meaningful goal that you can set for 2022 and a starting point to get there. This is huge. Congratulations. Now, I know this is all in your imagination, but in coaching, we say that coaching has not really occurred unless action takes place. So right now, the action I'd like you to take is to commit to something specific out of everything you've been dreaming and thinking about for the last couple of minutes. Given all of this reflection, what will you commit to right now? Be specific. Set a date by which you'll get it done. And I'd like to encourage you to keep it small. The key here is for you to have a sense of having accomplished what you set out to do, a sense of success. This is not a go big or go home kind of situation. So if you knew that your physical wellness was the thing that you needed to focus on in 2022, and as you look over your values, you see that you needed to be creative and loving in order to accomplish that, perhaps you're going to download a weight loss app and start a subscription by this Friday. Specific, simple. Then connect it up with your values and intentions. Perhaps your intention is to be a loving family member. And you know that if you keep this weight on, you won't be able to play with your grandchildren the way you'd like to. And that is a demonstration of being loving. That's just one example. But take your time and find something small as the first step. Many people who come to coaching are what we would call high performers, right? People who go it alone and do very well. And yet in 2022, I'd like to encourage you to get some support around this goal that's so meaningful to you. Who or what could support you in staying focused on this area of your life and ultimately feeling more satisfied with it? Depending on the realm you're in, it might be your friends and your peers, of course, your family, maybe even your coworkers, especially if it's in the professional realm. If you participate in a spiritual faith, there could be a congregation there. Organizations like Weight Watchers, 12-step programs, divorce support groups, and even the gym. And of course, you might need to reach out to professionals like doctors, lawyers, financial advisors, and even professional coaches. So take some time to figure out your support network. And then when you think about this really being real, how will you celebrate? How would focusing on this impact your happiness? And then just check in with yourself. How does your body feel right now compared to when you sat down to start this reflection? I hope that you discovered something really beautiful that you'd be willing to take on in 2022 in order to have the life you really, really want. If you struggled with any of this or you have something you'd like to celebrate, I would love to hear from you. My email is coach@coachflame.com, and you can always call or text me at 312-953-2465, and I'm also on WhatsApp. You can also follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn or find out more on my webpage at www.coachflame.com. Have a great 2022.